Hello everybody, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film, North American server. It's Dark Ninja. Back into the Hall of Fame, but not with his PZ38NA, this time with his VK2801. We're in Fjords, not a common Hall of Fame map. Standard mode, East Spawn. 1 artillery apiece, 2 scouts on the enemy team, 3 on his. Only 2 TDs on the enemy team, a lot of mediums, 4 heavies at the top of the lineup, plus 1 farther down. His team has 3 TDs, and pretty much the same thing. A lot of heavies at the top, then a group of mediums, then some TDs, and so they're fairly evenly matched. This is kind of a mixed map for scouts. There's some good places to go. A lot of it's really dependent on where the enemy team goes as to what you can get away with. It's not one of those maps where you can just go somewhere and always get great spots. Your team really changes up on whether they play hill. We always have the brawl down here, but then what happens in the middle and up here changes battle to battle. So you almost have to watch where your team's going and then base what you do on how your team deploys. If you just do it the same way every time, you're going to end up disappointed a lot. It's looking like the hill's going to be a problem. There, just a scorpion up there, and a scout's going up against him. I was about to say the scorpion's going to die, and he does. So Dark Ninja and his platoon mate are headed back that way. You will see this over and over and over in Hall of Fame films and from watching really any good player play, not just scouts. And that is the people who consistently win, the people who consistently get good missions, demonstrate a high degree of situational awareness. And it's not just that they see what's going on, they react to it. A lot of people will just click on the map and say, hey, we need help here, but they don't move. You gotta move. You gotta adjust to what's going on. You can't wait for everybody else to do it for you. And he takes big damage. He has 3 tanks coming down on him. T-28's coming back behind him. The rest of the team's ignoring what's going on the hill. With the E-25 coming in, he's not in a great position right here. He needs to boogie out of there. Even if he outplays the E-25, it's going to be hard for him to win the battle. He doesn't have enough hit points. Oh, but he gets tracked. Perfect. That could have been a big hit right there. It wasn't. That's just luck of the draw. Now he's going to shoot for the back and the guy dies. That would have been a kill shot. Scorpion vs 2801 mismatch. Trouble is right now he can't afford to take a hit, and there's still the Bulldog up here. Bulldog's a one shot if he can get off the first shot. He knows where he is. The Bulldog doesn't know where he is. The Bulldog shoots first, but the Bulldog dies. The Bulldog needed 2 shots to get him. And now they have a slight lead. He's deciding, do I want to go back and help? Do I want to go up over the hill and get the arty? What do I want to do? Should I flank coming down off the hill? And he decides to go directly towards them. Now he's reconsidering. I think he's really looking at the enemy team maybe making a push right through here. This is one of those decisions where it seems like no matter which one you make, it would have been better to do the other. But you can't sit there and just wait and think. You have to decide and go with it. And if it works out, it does. If it doesn't, oh well. The inability to decide is a tank killer for yourself, and it's also a great losing strategy. Keep changing your mind and end up doing nothing. He gets a shot on the arty first. He's dead. The beauty of the 105. Careful. Cool. He took it at an angle. If he wouldn't have stayed kind of turned to the left there and gone down like he did, he would have hurt himself. He could have potentially killed himself. He has very low hit points. Now he's going to go back and help out on defense. He may be able to come over the hill. He may be, instead of going this, oops, oh man, this isn't good either. These things are brittle from the back, but head on, they're not good for 20 to 1. Oh, and the guy doesn't see him. If he can dump a couple shots into his back, he has a chance. That's actually a low damage for the back. He's going to try to circle him. Getting a track would help, because going uphill here is a struggle to get around him. He's doing it. The other guy's lost. Wow. All he had to do was keep his rotation going the same way, and he could have caught up to him. Now you want to pound his butt. You can get big damage on the back of this guy if you shoot down at it, right down at the bottom. Nope, he's not doing it. He goes for the hull though. He hits the hull. It's not a big shot at the hull, but there it is. This is it right here. Bang! Whenever you're going up against the 26E4 in a 20 to 1, you shoot him from the front and you just get little baby love taps. You shoot him from the back, you get big bangs. And you saw, if you manage to put one in the actual hull, that little narrow band that is actually the hull from the side, you can get damage as well. But man, that's a hard shot to hit unless you're really up close. And now they've gained a lead, so. T-34, same way. If they have a bigger thing to the side, you get behind a T-34, you can do major damage with HE. So he's going to start, well, I thought he was going to set up there. That's the bush he started the fight in. This would be, if he wants to just passive spot, coming over here to the right would be a good one based on where the T-34 is. T-34 may be pulling back just to play defense. So. And the 28 doesn't appear to want to move and go on the offensive. It's going to make it tough for Dark Ninja to pull out a win here. So he's off to find the tanks. Figured they'd be here looking at Cap. Get behind him. Ooh, get behind him and he's dead. You can shoot the back end of him and the T-34 can't return fire. Ah. He was doing good. I think if I were him, I don't know if I would have gotten away with it. I just would have continued forward and gotten as far behind him as I could and hopefully gotten off another shot. His hand was being forced somewhat by the fact that the T-28 wasn't moving. And this is what happens so often. Now look, Now that he dies, the T-28 moves forward. It's like, dude, why didn't you do that when the scout was still alive? If you'd moved forward and worked with him, you both could have survived. Where the T-26C4 is, like, God only knows. He doesn't seem to be involved in the fight very much. There he is, coming in behind. This isn't a good situation for the 28. He gets tracked, has a repair kit, good deal. Now, Artie, do your part and bop one on his head. We'll move on to the T-34. The danger, of course, right now is that the T-34 comes in from behind and takes out the TD. And here he comes from the back. You gotta stay in the 26. Artie, hit the T-34. That's what you need to do. Hit the T-34. Yes. Good deal. T-26 is, yep, there's the game. Good job, guys. They did that very well. So for the battle, disappointing death, but Dark Ninja ends up 3,309 damage. 3 kills, 14 of 15 shooting, 93%. Did 734 assisted damage on 3 spots. Earned 24,030 credits. Got 2% cap points. Earned 2,421 XP. Didn't survive the fight, but he got Fire for Effect and Bruiser mini medals, and that gives him a battle score of 2,431. Puts him into 14th place on the VK2801 list. It's been a while since we had those. Have somebody put a battle in for the 2801. He moved up into the middle, up in here, tried to spot down in here, didn't get a whole lot of action there. And while they were waiting for stuff to happen, north flank was lost, so his teammate and him went back, platoon mate and him went back, and he got involved in a little bit of a hairy situation down here because he'd gotten hit twice as he moved north, had to retreat, and then some tanks came in and his teammates helped him overcome the threat there, and then he went off back into the middle to look for spots again, same as before, not a whole lot going, and then played search and destroy, tried to get behind tanks, had a circle of T-26, and you saw the difference. Well, you didn't get to see him shoot at the front because he didn't. You saw him shoot in the very narrow strip of hull on the side and get a good hit, and you saw him shoot into the back and get a big hit, which is exactly where you want to do it. Went down and found the T-34, and unfortunately, I think misjudged his ability to get off the first shot there at the end, and paid the price for it by dying. But this would have been a really cool battle to see if he hadn't died, what he would have ended up with. He would have been way up on the 2801 list. Still, he ends up in the Hall of Fame despite dying. And then you got to see some good teamwork between the T-28 and the artillery at the very end. I always get the Artie that decides to fire at the T-26 in the city and just smashes buildings while the T-34 shoots me from behind. But in this case, it was a good player playing Artie, and he knew what he had to do: take out the T-34 and let the T-28 handle the medium. And that's what he did, and he ends up with a win. So there's other things to learn from the non-scouts. If you are with a TD and the TD is facing a target, and the TD has a decent amount of hit points left, don't worry about the target in front of the TD. He's not the threat. The threat's the guy behind him, because he can mow down the TD, and the TD has no recourse. So take out the guy harassing the flanks and the rear of the TD. That's who you go after. You do it correctly, and you end up with a win like this. So things to learn from the scout, things to learn from the non-scouts. Happy hunting.